Vertical images are everywhere. They're in our phones and also in our social feeds. But sometimes you need a landscape image for a website banner, a presentation, or just to fit a design layout. So if you have a vertical image and you want to convert that to a landscape image, you have two options. The first option is to try to take a picture of that same concept, but this time landscape, or you could expand the vertical image, which could cause cropping of important details. The same problem exists if you have a landscape image and you want to convert it to a portrait image. But with Cloudinary's generative fill, we can use AI to seamlessly extend either dimensions of our images, filling in the extra space in a way that looks natural and keeps the focus on our subject. Let's see how this works in practice. I'll be using the Cloudinary Svelte SDK for this. Here I have a Svelte application currently running. I don't have much going on here. In the root page, I just have this IMG element, and I have an existing Cloudinary account here with some demo images. I have two images which I'll be using for this video. I have this one, which is landscape, and this one, which is portrait. Now let's start from the portrait one. I want this image to display as landscape. Now instead of trying to retake this picture or zoom in and lose some details, I can use Cloudinary for this. So going back here, I just reference the image as it is, and so it looks like this, but let's convert that to landscape. The first thing I'm going to do is to import CLD image from Svelte Cloudinary. By the way, I have this loading indicator, which is just a custom hack for having a loading indicator while an image loads. So currently that is showing because the image is not loaded yet. I have this demo image object where I have the one with the backpack and the one with the buildings. And then here I can create an aspect ratio object. So if I want to convert the image to vertical, which I keep track of with vertical true and vertical false. So if I want to convert it to vertical, I want the width to be 1080, else I want it to be 1920. And for the height, if it's vertical, I want it 1920, else I want it 1080. So coming here now, instead of using this IMG, I can use CLD image, and then I can say the source is the target image, the source, the alt, and then for the width, aspect ratio, width, height, and so on. Now what we have here is a landscape version of our portrait image, but we are losing some details. So now the first thing I'm going to do is to add a crop of pad so that when it is cropped, we have some space. I can show you that space if I should go to the CSS here. So for the IMG, if I put a border 1 pixels solid red, you can see that because we use a crop of pad, we have space here and we have space here. So now we want to fill that space, and so we can use fill background. And now Cloudinary fills in that background, matching the context and the style of the image. And if you look at this image now, it almost looks like this was how it was originally taken. If I also want AI to include some things in the background, I can add a natural language prompt. So I can say fill background and probably say something like birds in the sky. And like you can see, we have the birds in the sky, and this looks so original. Now for the second image, this is currently horizontal, but I want it to be vertical without losing some details. For the current image key, I'm just going to use buildings, which is this object, and I want to convert this now to vertical. Now when we go back here, same thing happens. It's converted to vertical, but we lose some details. If I come here again and I put a crop of pad, what we have here now is this. So the image is still vertical, which we can confirm again if I put the border of red. It's still vertical, but our crop of pad now has some space here, which we can now fill in by putting fill background. This time I don't need a prompt, and Cloudinary does its thing, and now we have this. This still looks very much like the original image, just that it is now a vertical view. And obviously you can choose to add birds in the sky or put something in the sky if you want. An extra thing that I did with the class here is that if the image is vertical, let's make the height 400 pixels so that it's not bigger than the whole screen. So here I can put my class to say that if the target image is vertical, add the vertical class, else don't add it. So now we have something like this, which is a vertical transformation of our horizontal image without losing the context or details of the image. So this way, if I want a grid of vertical images and I only have horizontal images, or the other way around, by using this Cloudinary generative AI feature, I can simply achieve that. Next up, let's see how Cloudinary AI can help us in perfectly cropping our images.